everybody, welcome to Design My Peck. This is my video on changing a garbage disposal. Recently we had a garbage disposal go bad. We couldn't get it unstuck. We tried, so we needed to replace it. And I wanted to give you a heads up of things to watch out for when you go and replace your own garbage disposal unit. The first is when you go to re-engage the new garbage disposal, there are 3 flanges that you need to make sure are engaged. In my case, when I did it, I think I only had 2 engaged, so it kind of slipped off a little bit when I was adjusting it and trying to reinstall it. The second thing to look out for is, in my case, I had to reuse the electrical cord that powered the unit, and fairly simple to do, but in my case, I did not move over the electrical connector as well. So I used the cord, but I did not use the connector. And the connector is critically important, as I stated in the video. It serves 2 functions. The first function is that it prevents chafing around the metal edge of the garbage disposal unit. The second function it does is that it secures the cord in place. So if someone pulled on it, like you, or you're moving stuff around from underneath the sink and it catches on it, it holds the cord in place so that it won't dislodge and it won't pull and detach the connectors within the unit. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video, and I will talk to you after. Thank you. Alright, hey everyone, so I'm going to start my videos by showing the tools that I think I'm going to need for this project. If I need to update it, I will show, but I've got a Phillips flathead, chisel, some pencils, hammer, safety glasses, and a adjustable wrench. In the box of the garbage disposal, we get the unit, we get the sink mounted flange, the stopper, and then here's the discharge tube elbow. You get an Allen key, which you should keep under the sink at all times to help unstuck the garbage disposal. Get the bolt, a flange gasket, and then the installation manual. And of course, before working on anything that has to do with electricity, go to the fuse box and turn off the power. And I also unplugged the garbage disposal. Here I'm showing what we need to remove. There is the flange for the outlet, 1/2, and there's the other half that goes into the garbage disposal. Just a metal flange with 2 bolts, and there's a gasket underneath. And then if you have a dishwasher hose, there is the worm clamp they need to remove as well. So here I am, just unscrewing 1/2 of the tube, the one that goes into the garbage disposal, and then after I get that, I'm gonna try and take the dishwasher hose off. If your garbage disposal does not go into a dishwasher, you won't have the second hose to remove. Sorry for the bad camera angle, but it's just a worm clamp, fairly simple. Unscrew it, and you're going to see here that the garbage disposal is going to come off. I think I loosened it earlier on. I'm going to show how to actually remove the garbage disposal properly, because a lot of times it's tight and it gets stuck. But I couldn't get that hose off without removing it, so I took it off, and then I had better leverage removing the hose that goes into the dishwasher. I used I think a flathead there I see to remove it, and there we go. Now here is actually the right way, or the way that people normally remove the garbage disposal. You can use an Allen key that comes with it to put in the hole, and then here I'm using a flathead. It's easier with a Phillips head because it just goes right in, but once you get it in there, you get leverage, and you can really twist that flange or that screw, and that's going to take off the garbage disposal. So in my case, the new garbage disposal did not come with a cord. So some might, mine didn't. The cheaper ones I think don't. So I had to reuse the cord from the old garbage disposal. Not a big deal. You just take it off and put in the new one. If you're not comfortable with wires and capping wires, please, you should go see an expert to help you out, or to have them do it. You don't want to have a short when you go do this. One thing that I did wrong in changing these wires out is that I forgot to move over the, I did not take the electrical connector, which is the kind of metal connector that's round, that's not where I'm at right now, but where the cord actually initially goes into the garbage disposal. There it is on the screen right now. I did not remove that from the old disposal unit to the new one. It's really important that you reuse that. I went in later after the video was done to go put it back in. The reason why that's important, that has two important functions. One, it prevents chafing of the wire against the metal edge. And then the second thing is it clamps the wire down. So if someone pulls on it, like you or you know, bottles or whatever underneath the garbage disposal, it keeps it snug in place. It won't disconnect the wires that are within the unit. So make sure you reuse the electrical connector when you do this installation. I did not do that in this video, but I did do it after the fact. Here I am capping the wires. And again, if you're not comfortable capping the wires, please ask for assistance. I don't want anyone to get electrocuted. Of course, it's unplugged right now, but once you plug it in, you don't want to short. After you get the two wires connected, you know, it's white to white, black to black. You just color match the wire, so it's not that big of a deal. But there is a green wire, which is the ground. The ground wire, you just attach it to the screw there. There's, I think, a green screw within the unit, and you put it on. So here I am. I'm putting on the cover plate with just a single screw. It's really easy to do. And then I have transferred the wire, of course, except for the electrical connector, which I went in later on. So I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a dishwasher attached to this, you don't have to remove this hose. I do have a dishwasher, and so there's a plug in here that's automatically plugged when you get it that you need to remove from the garbage disposal so that water can actually go into the dishwasher, or the dishwasher can flow water into the garbage disposal unit. So do not forget to do that. Here's the gasket. Always replace the gasket with the new gasket that comes with the garbage disposal unit. Do not reuse the old one, especially if they give you a new one. Rubber wears out over time. When you are connecting the garbage disposal unit into the flange, the sink flange, sometimes an extra set of hands can be helpful, but when you initially do it loosely so you can adjust it like I just did there. You want to be able to turn the unit enough so that you can move it around. Now there's a beveled gasket here that you need to make sure is in the correct direction. You see a picture there in the upper left hand corner. In my case, those would be upside down because you want the thicker portion where the screw is, or where the so it can push against the thicker portion of the gasket, and the thinner tapered portion sits inside the larger tube, so it's got a nice tight fit, so that you don't have a leak in your seal there. So, and that's what I did there. You can see that it's a little off center, but that's because the PVC pipe below isn't. I need to turn it and angle it towards the garbage disposal, and I will do that later on. But here I am putting on the flange. Remember, there's a gasket underneath that flange that came with the unit. Make sure you use the new gasket to get a proper seal. Don't reuse the old one because the rubber can get brittle over with age. It's a bad angle, but it's just two screws screwing it into the garbage disposal right here. And I've got terrible access. Maybe I'm just not used to screwing my way around this limited access here. And sorry that it's out of focus, and I just, I don't have a separate camera person here. So here I am. You'll notice that this came off. When you put it on, I said do it loosely, but you also have to make sure that there's 3 latches on the flange, and you have to make sure all 3 are engaged. So when then you do a full tightening of the garbage disposal, all 3 flanges are engaged and you get an appropriate, really tight seal there. So when you're putting it in, make sure all 3 flanges are engaged. It's critically important there. So here I am, you see I'm adjusting the white PVC below like I mentioned earlier. I'm still fiddling with this flange. I feel like it's just not on right, so I do a little bit of work here to make sure that I've got it. It's still loose enough that I can move around, but I still made sure that all 3 flanges are engaged. So there we go. I've got that tightened up. And now I'm going to install the dishwasher hose and the worm clamp. Here we go. And it's fairly simple. Worm clamps are very easy. You just have a flathead screwdriver. You put it on, make sure it's sitted properly. Sometimes you might want to have a seal, like a grease to put around it. I didn't do it. I didn't need it in my case. But there's a flathead. Just tighten it up. Try to line up the old grooves to the new grooves, and it's now done. I'm plugging it in, and I'm gonna see if it works. Of course, I turn on the power from the fuse box, and I'm gonna start by just running the water. I'm checking for doing a leak check to make sure everything's put back together nice and tight, and it is. There's no water dripping anywhere. I'm really happy with this so far. So now the next step is to turn on the garbage disposal, and I do right here, and it's running. You can hear it running, and then there's still no leak down below. Mission accomplished. I hope you enjoyed my video replacing the garbage disposal unit. You can see it's a fairly easy task. Sometimes access is a problem. Sometimes a second pair of hands can be helpful because the unit is kind of heavy. Let me know any suggestions down below in the comments if you think I could have done something a little bit different. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you at the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.